All right, all right. Here we are again. Welcome to WrestleMania Night 2 recap. More wrestling talk. We get a little bit of engagement. So that's enough to keep me going right now. I wouldn't mind doing this more. I wouldn't mind doing this after shows and everything else. And it would be fun, but I'm so bad at this stuff, man. I tried to make a thumbnail for this one, and it took me like 30 minutes before I finally gave up. I said, no, I had a picture on my phone of something I took in the match last night. And I took this and I emailed it to my Gmail. And then here I am on my computer. And then I'm trying to get it to go from the, hey, what's up, Scott? And I tried to get it. Cody, I'll get to him. I don't feel bad. It's all good. It's all going to come out in the end. So I tried to get something on here and I emailed it and then I couldn't get it to save to my desktop and everything was going so slow on this computer until I have more money to get a new computer. Everything's going to friggin', be screwy. Cody Rhodes will get revenge on John Cena. Well, yeah, of course. I mean, eventually it's typical. Travis Scott did his thing and more on that. Yeah, I'm going to get all of it. So I don't know if you can tolerate me all this time, but at least I have some engagement and somebody talking. So welcome, Scott. Thank you. But I want to do more of this. I'm gonna have to find a way to better produce it and do some with this computer I have now. It's not gonna happen. Like I said, after 30 minutes, my patience don't only go so far. So forget about it. So let's talk about my predictions were way off. I was so good the first night, 6-1, and I even said it yesterday in the video. I said, well, I might go 1-6 tonight because it was a lot tougher. And turns out I was right. I didn't go 1-6. I think I go 2-5, but it was a lot tougher, and I enjoyed it for what it was. So I mean, that's good. Well, yeah, Scott couldn't hang out with me. I know. I'm new at this, and there's a lot to talk about. So maybe someday people have more of an interest in what I have to say about wrestling. It would be nice because I could do this, man. I just don't have production value or anything yet, and whatever. So now I'm all alone. I can relax, and everybody after can just see what they see. So let's talk about the first match. It was a good way to start it. Night 2 was the triple threat with Rhea and Bianca and Io Sky. Everybody had opinions on this, where it was going to go. I predicted Bianca. I wanted Bianca. I never thought it was Rhea's match. I explained it yesterday. She just dropped it. It would make no sense just to drop it just to get it back. I mean, for what? They could have just kept the belt on her and found some other way to have a triple threat. So I'm like, yeah, it's not going to be her. Io would be nice because she's the underdog, even though she's the champion. But the way they played it so far, I guess I should have almost seen that they were going to put her over because of that. But I just had a feeling they were going to do a little more with Bianca and turn her heel or something and give her a nice solo run after she's done all the tag team stuff for the past year or so. But I was wrong. So Io, and I was happy that she won. It was great to see it. It was a good story in the ring, and it was probably the best match as far as match quality goes. It was a great way to start it. It was a lot of fun. So kudos to WWE for starting off with a banger. And that was good. So, yeah, I quite enjoyed that one. Oh, geez, so much for this. You go to a website and you try just to freaking get all the matches. And I don't know, it's not as easy as it should be between pop-ups and BS and everything else. So, anyway, that was the first match. I predicted Bianca. I was wrong. Okay, so the second match, at least according to this, of course, my memory is awful, but Sin City Street Fight, Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. This is one of the few that I was correct on, but it could have gone either way. I just didn't know where they were going to go with both of these guys. But not surprising that Drew won, and I'm glad. Like I said, I picked that one right, one of the few. And it was good stuff. It was pretty good stuff. It wasn't a show stealer. I thought it could have been going in. Not necessarily. I mean, the first match was just gangbusters with the three of them. Probably one of the best women's matches I've ever seen. So, and I am sometimes critical of some of their matches because sometimes they're just a little too sloppy for me. But and I've seen some championship matches that Manias that other people loved, and I was like, there was botches here and there. It was okay, but whatever. I'm really not the kind of guy that's gonna criticize a whole lot of in ring stuff, but I do notice what I notice. So yeah, I was glad to see Drew win that match. That's cool. He needs it. He's been having some bad things go down, and he's always got something to complain about. Maybe now, this time he doesn't, and it's going to be interesting to see where his character goes and what happens next with Damian Priest, because I think they should bring him back up. But we'll see. Fatal 4-Way for the Intercontinental Championship. Yeah, wow. I had a feeling that somebody was going to turn on somebody, but I didn't think it was going to be for a title. So I was wrong. I picked Braun Breaker to keep that title. Didn't happen. They still kept him strong, which was kind of what I was going for. I thought it was too soon for Penta, and I just couldn't see. I guess if I had to pick somebody else, I would have probably picked Dominic, because to give Finn the IC belt, it would be fine, but having Dominic do it, I think is really cool, especially what I think may be happening next with the Judgment Day and with Liv and other things. But we'll get to that when we get to that. So it's cool. I'm glad it happened. Braun stays strong. Penta stays strong. So well done. I hope they write something good for what's going to happen next with the Judgment Day. We'll see where it goes. It's going to be interesting tonight to see what they do in that faction, and if it's the end of it or if they're going to keep them together. And I don't know. Hopefully they got something good planned. So we shall see. But yeah, I was wrong. It ended up being Dominic, and I'm happy about it, though. That's fine. I like to be surprised. It's not as important to be right in your predictions as long as you're happy with the result. So there you go. Dominic, it should be fun for a while. The Randy Orton thing didn't make a whole lot of sense to me, because now I'm familiar enough with this Joe Hendry guy. I don't watch TNA, but I see all the signs. I believe in Joe Hendry. I know the guy's popular. I see people talk about him I don't go on social media, but I go on YouTube and I see things in comment sections sometimes, and I do see people that like this Joe Hendry. So I thought, okay, when I saw he was announced and he was coming in, I'm like, oh, this is interesting, and maybe I'm going to be correct in saying that Orton's going to lose, because I'm thinking Orton's a legend. He's on the way to the Hall of Fame. He doesn't really need the win, and somebody young that they might want to, give him something decent, and he's popular. I thought this guy was going to win. I'm like, this just Joe Hendry. I've never seen him wrestle, but I know he's popular. So I'm like, well, why would they really bring him in just to lose? But they did, and it was fun. It was a fun match, and for as short as it was, they did the best they could. Like I said, they went a different direction. I thought it was going to be Rusev or maybe Malachi Black or something else, and they were going to come back in and return to the Federation and be able to score one over Orton. But no, they just had that happen, and I guess it was a fun moment for Orton fans. It was cool, but whatever. A little bit of a waste of time, but a little bit of fun too. So I was just surprised that they brought the TNA guy in just to beat him. But it still does get a TNA guy and a lot of eyes on him. He's their champion, and it's a worldwide show. So I guess it's still good for TNA regardless. Just thought it was a weird decision. So again, I was wrong about that. I thought Orton would lose to whoever he was fighting, but so I was wrong about that. Okay, this is one of the others I was right about. Only the second one. Logan Paul defeating AJ Styles. Pretty good match. I thought this is another one that could have stolen the show, and it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Nothing overly special, but it did what it was supposed to do. Like I said, enjoyable match, and everything played out the way I thought. It was interesting to see what's his name come out, and I do want to see more of this guy. This Karrion Kross. I want to see him get more involved. I wasn't watching when he was around prior to this, so I've just known him as this backstage guy all this time. So I'm kind of interested in what he can do. So I thought maybe something was going to happen with that, but I don't know. A tiny bit weird just saying, here's Brett Snucks, use him. I mean, he would have been disqualified. And more on that, some of the rules, like last night, I was complaining about night one, saying, well, how come all that stuff was allowed in the triple threat match? I don't recall saying it was no disqualification. Well, if triple threat matches are for some reason just do what you want, then why didn't they have all that crazy stuff in the women's match that opened? That was a triple threat, or this fatal four way, for example. I Again, that's a complaint about the night one thing, which was a good match and a good ending and everything else. It was cool, but I just didn't get. Maybe I missed something, but no one's been able to tell me I've been wrong about that yet. So who knows? But where the hell was I? So yeah, Logan Paul. I do like him. I understand why people don't like him, but he doesn't have a lot of experience, and what he does, he does well. He's got a good character. You love to hate him, and he does well in the ring. If he couldn't go at all in the ring, I could see people not liking him, but he can, and he did it. And AJ did the right thing, putting the younger guy over. I mean, it makes sense. So I was happy about that. It works out. It's not going to really hurt AJ, and it just keeps Paul a lot of heat on him. So I like that. Okay, this was the surprise of the night here. I said that there was one easy one to pick the first night, and very easy. That was the Jey Uso. And this one, I was like, there's no way in hell they're going to take the belt off of Liv in this tag stuff. It didn't make any sense to me, especially a thrown together team. And Lila already has an IC title. I'm thinking it doesn't make any sense. I understand why they have her in it, and at first Bailey just to have the match, but more for Liv to shine than anything, I'm thinking. But as soon as Becky's music hit, I go, well, I feel like I should change my pick now, because WWE and the fans love the hell out of Becky. I like her. I'm not as into her as some other people have been. Again, I missed a lot of the stuff when she was doing the man gimmick and she was as hot as could be, in the storyline and all that. I wasn't there for it. I wasn't watching, so maybe I'd like her more had I seen that. But I just yeah, whatever. But as soon as I saw her, I'm like, oh no. I was disappointed because I was kind of hoping Alexa Bliss, who is healthy and on the roster, and it would have been a great situation. Who doesn't want to see Alexa against Liv? That's freaking money. That's great. But that's my favorite girl is Alexa. And now Liv is, right behind her. So I thought that could have been great. So I was disappointed. And as soon as it happened, I'm like, oh no, they're gonna do the whole Becky two belts thing now, except they're gonna put it on Lila, and sure enough, I ended up being wrong, and they lose. So, but like I was saying before about Judgment Night and Judgment Day, sorry, and Dominic, I think that maybe now they can have Liv take that IC belt from Lila, and maybe that's what they're gonna do. And so Liv and Dom would be the Intercontinental Champions together. They would be great. They'd be insufferable as heels. I think it would be great television. So I'm hoping that's what they're gonna do, and it wasn't just to do it to celebrate Becky's return and to celebrate, Lila having two belts, which I'm okay with Lila, but I don't think she should be a two belt athlete right now. But we'll see. So that's what I'm holding out for. I was disappointed to see Liv lose. I never thought it would happen, but maybe she's going to get that IC title, and that'll be worth it. So, which now brings us to the main event, which, boy, oh boy, people are complaining about it. My only complaint is the end, not the end of the match, just when what's his name, showed up, how everybody in the ring stopped, including Cena. And this was a match where the ref took bumps and he was out. You could do anything, and it did come into play. There, who's going to cheat, who's not, what's going to happen. And it took freaking, what's his name? Travis Scott, 10 minutes to walk down the aisle. And the whole time, they're just standing there looking at him like it's some big deal. I don't think that they would have to stop for that. The Rock, maybe. And I don't care as much as other people that The Rock didn't show up. To me, Rock just sent Travis Scott to do his dirty work. And Cena was in on it, and it showed that they were together. They're in that clique. I think maybe we'll see more of what's going to happen with The Rock. I don't think he's just not going to be there. But instead of just doing a predictable run-in in the main event, I think maybe he'll be on Raw tonight or whatever, or maybe he'll show up when he wants with Cena and explain more. So I was disappointed that he wasn't there. but I was not one bit disappointed with the result because if you saw what I said yesterday, because of what he said, because of what Cena said he was going to ruin wrestling and take the belt away and retire and all that, I'm like, well, that's not going to happen. I know the guy's going to wrestle. So, but I guess they're going to find a way around it. And it's going to be cool. And I like the idea of him trying to ruin wrestling. I loved his intro, his entrance. I love when he comes in and it's all black and it's just his name. No colors, no celebrating, all business. I think that's great. He's not putting on a show anymore for anybody. He's just doing it. And he gets in the ring and he just wrestles to the best of his ability. And it's nothing flashy and it's not. I think what's being, and maybe it's not the wise decision booking, but I think what people are kind of like overlooking is the fact that the guy said he was going to ruin wrestling. So he's coming out trying to have a main event match where it's just all business and he's not putting on a show. And people are disappointed in that. But if you look at the storyline, it makes sense. Some people don't like that. And some people think maybe that's a bad idea. Is it that important to have the storyline? And I'm thinking, well, yeah, I would rather have a storyline work out than have a 5-star match. But that's me. Just the fact that Cena won this thing when I didn't give him a chance because of what he said, it was enough to make the entire match for me. I was just, and of course, dumbass Cody, who has a chance to do something with this title and doesn't. And I'm like, yeah, dummy. He gets kicked in the nuts again, and then he gets hit with the belt. I'm like, you got to do something. So it's actually pretty good storytelling because what's going to happen now? Cody still stays as clean cut as ever, doesn't do his stuff, doesn't freaking, take any shortcuts, even when he could have, and maybe he should have, because he's, fight fire with fire. So I think maybe eventually they're going to push him to have more of an aggressive side. It's just they're playing the long game, which is good, which I like. What is it going to lead to with Cody? I don't know, but I don't think Cody is like a Hulk Hogan. He is a white meat baby face, and people cheer him. And I did love the fact that last night, and I kind of figured it out on Friday when the crowd was booing Cody and cheering Cena on SmackDown. And I was telling my wife, I'm like, this is going to end up being a WrestleMania 18 situation, Hogan and Rock, and I'm here for it, and I love it. Okay. Eric, I like the fact Cena won his 17th title, but the way they got there was horrible. No Rock, no Heyman. That's what I'm talking about. Travis Scott being the only one to come out made no sense. It was horrible. A lot of people are saying that. And I explained why I like it. Because it makes sense. Because Rock's too high up to freaking get his nose involved. He's like, I'm just going to send Travis, and we're going to shit on wrestling, which is what Cody wanted to do. They're above wrestling now. They're freaking so they don't care about the entertainment value. I think it works out for their storyline, and they're staying true blue. And I think, like I said, I think that is missed out on some people, but I understand why. I understand people that are, and like I said, I complained myself because it took them too long to get in the ring, Travis Scott. It was like way too long. And then, they stopped for it, which doesn't make sense. That's my only complaint. That I want The Rock there, yes, but I think more is going to come out of this story. It's a long game. They're going to stretch it out longer, and I'm happy about that. But I understand that complaint. I do. I don't think anything was horrible. I was so happy to see Cena. If Cena would have come in the ring and beat him in 10 seconds, people would have hated that too. I would have loved it. I just want to see Cena as a heel surprise me and do something that I thought couldn't have happened. I don't care so much about the fact that it's Mania and we're expecting a 5-star match and this and that. I saw enough of that shit in the early matches. I saw people kicking out of finishers that they had no right kicking out of. It's par for the course now. But I want to see the storyline and the way I want to see it, and I want to be swerved. And that's what happened to me. So that's good enough. I'm a storyline guy. That's why I'm watching again. And I like the writing for the most part. So I'm happy what they did, and now I'm more excited to tune in for Raw because I want to see Cena. If Cena would have lost, I would have been like, yeah, okay, let's see what's going to happen next, whatever. I still want to see some other things, of course, but it makes tonight more exciting. It makes the future more exciting to see where the storyline's going to go. When is The Rock going to show up? I'm telling you, he's got to show up. He's got to, eventually. But you know what I thought was going to happen? When Austin's music started playing and it was going on for like 30, 45 seconds, and there was no Steve Austin, I was like, it's going to be The Rock. He's punking everybody. He's going to freaking punk everybody to think Austin's showing up, and then he's going to walk out to start the match. That would have been cool. But then again, I think if Rock would have showed up and we already knew Austin was there after he came out, I think it would have been kind of lame and predictable to have Rock and then Austin get involved. And of course, Austin's going to stun The Rock to prevent it from happening. And they already did that last year. They did that in the WrestleMania 40 main event. And honestly, I'm sick of the old timers always having to freaking show up in main events. It was great last year with The Rock in the 2 nights. I have no complaint about that. But I just like the fact that you can let guys, stand on their own 2 feet. In the heyday, they never had older people coming in. In the golden age, they never had older people coming in to save the card. They even in the freaking the Attitude Era, they didn't have it. I don't know why everybody always wants to see. Yeah, I was even complaining about The Undertaker still wrestling his last 5 matches. He was only wrestling once a year. I'm like, this just goes to show you that the modern product is so poor that they still have to freaking rely on these old timers to come in. When wrestling is good, you don't need that shit. When you have characters that have been built up and people are tuned in and watching it, and I know those days are over. I know not as many people watch it. I know it's not as popular as it once was, but I think it's very good now for the first time in a while. That's why I'm watching it. I don't care. Like I was asking my mother the other day, who do you even know on this card? And she knows of John Cena, and that's it. She didn't even know who CM Punk was. Never heard of him. See, the days of pop culture referencing in wrestling are dead. They're gone. Only us diehards watch it now. People can say whatever they want. That's the way. There's no household names. There's just not. There's not like in the 80s and the 90s, you can walk up to strangers on the streets. You could ask them questions. Have you ever heard of this guy? Or can you name 3 wrestlers? And they'd be able to name 3 wrestlers probably. At least, 75% of people. Now, forget about it. Maybe you'll get someone to say Roman Reigns or something. It's just, those days are over. It is what it is. And I don't need the old timers to come and rescue anything. Granted, The Rock started this whole thing, this gimmick, and what led to Cena going heel. So I understand the need for him there. And like I've repeated myself again and again, I would have liked to see Rock show up, yes. But my only complaint was Travis Scott and how long it took him to come down and how long John Cena froze. If it makes any sense at all, Cena just kicks his ass while freaking Cody and them are paying attention to Travis walking out. That's when you do it. Just like, and all that bullshit started in the Attitude Era, like the stuff when somebody's music comes on and then they run to the ring to do a run-in. Never liked it. Makes no sense. It still happens to this day. It's stupid. In the 80s, if somebody ran in, they just ran in. There was no music. It seemed more real. When someone runs out and nobody's, why would they play the music? How are they going to know he's going to do a run-in? It looks too fake. And I don't like that. And this is just another one of those situations, and that's one of the problems with the modern product. See, this is why I want to talk more wrestling, guys, because I'd love to have engagement and talk about it and, just give my general opinion on what I like and what I don't like with the modern product. And, it's different. For people that have been watching it as long as I have, it's different. For people that, like, I see people complaining this sucked and that sucked. I'm like, you know what? Let me tell you about WrestleMania. Not every single match back in the day had a storyline around it. Not every match was, I don't know, though. There's not enough build up, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Everybody cries about it. I'm like, you should be happy you have. The problem is this. You have Raw, you have SmackDown, and you have people having main event wrestlers all the time. And it's what ruins everything. It's overkill. So back when we were young, I'm watching wrestling from 1990 right now because I'm going through the whole thing. I started back in 84, and I'm in 90 right now. When you're watching it, you didn't see the stars all. Basically, this is what I said. Basically, Saturday night's main event, what we used to get so excited to see when it came on, that's basically what Raw and SmackDown is every week now. So everybody's just spoiled, and they're used to seeing all the stuff. When you have overexposure to all the main event guys, it's not as special. So now people are so spoiled that they can complain about the WrestleMania buildup or the matches themselves, saying, oh, it's a glorified Raw episode. And I'm like, you're coming from it from the wrong place, man. Just be grateful. It's almost like that's the problem with having these people on TV all the time, and that's overexposure. Back in the day, I was happy to have Hogan only defend his belt 8 times a year because when you saw him, it was special. And honestly, that's kind of how they're doing it now. Even Cody Rhodes, he's had the belt for a year. He only has like, I think they said 9 defenses last night. Back in the day, you had to have freaking 30 days to defend it. There was some type of legitimacy there. Now everybody, even if they're not part timers, they're wrestling like part timers when it comes to defending the belt. Oh, here we go. Hey, there he is. Uh, Thank you. Don't know shit about wrestling anymore, but just wanted to stop in and say, hey, buddy, what's up? Sinister Cinema, my homie. We just honestly, he was just on Exploding Heads for anybody that, might know about this, but we've been doing stuff, and I was actually looking for some help yesterday about whether I should go live or I should do it another way. But anyway, that's Jason Smith, and thanks for popping in. Appreciate it, man. And Daw, okay. Peacock has a great array of old WWF. Oh yeah, that's literally why I keep Peacock around, is for all the old school stuff, because I watch it a lot and I love it. Eventually, I don't know what's going to happen, but I have a lot of it on physical media now because I purchased it. So, because there's places you can go. Like I have all the Superstars of Wrestling shows from 1984 through 1991, and I'll keep getting them. But then with all the stuff with, I don't know what's going to happen with Peacock at the end of the year because I think they're going to lose rights. Hopefully this stuff stays, but I also seeing WWE putting a lot of stuff on YouTube, which is great. They have that whole WWE vault and WCW vault now, and I love it. So hopefully it always stays around, but I'm still going to protect my assets. I want to see these things. Like right behind me. Well, you can't really see it now because it's obstructed, but I have the WrestleMania box set, up until like 25 or whatever the hell it was. And I have everything on DVD and Blu-ray, just because they're already making changes on Peacock. They're taking things out they don't like. We're getting, you know what I mean? And forget about it. What are they going to do with all the stuff in the Attitude Era? It's not going to be proper to show anymore. You know what I mean? So we're going to have censors. So you got to get this stuff now. And I have it. I'm going to keep it. Even small things like people, you can't even get the right freaking entrance music. Did you guys watch the Hall of Fame the other day and DDP comes out and it's that lame WWE music? It isn't the original Self High Five, which kind of ripped off Nirvana. But that was a great song for him in WCW. Now you don't have it. So I like to have all the old stuff on physical media as it was presented. There are ways to get it if anybody wants to know. If you're looking for any of the old shows, I have a hookup, and it could be done. There's Jason. A lot of huge moments throughout the years. The Undertaker, Mankind, Hell in a Cell. Awesome. Yeah, it's amazing. Has there been a more memorable or better fight since? It's a matter of opinion. See, that's the problem. There's a lot of people that there's so many different things. Like the Hell in a Cell thing. It's a great match for the bumps that happened and for, but is it a great wrestling match? That's a matter of opinion. And some people just want to see great execution of moves and everything else. And there's hardcore wrestling and there's spot fests. It's so different now. Everybody's opinion as to the kind of wrestling they like is different. But if you love that hardcore stuff, there have been some other great hardcore matches, but probably not as memorable as that Hell in a Cell. But there's a lot out there. That is a good question, though, and that's, I'm not the guy to answer it off the top of my head because I've been in and out of it for so long. But there have been a lot of great hardcore style matches for sure. Off the top of my head, I can't even say them right now, but there's different type of wrestling. Like I said, but that was a great match. I'll never forget when I saw it. Would I put it in my top 10 matches ever? As far as entertainment value, maybe, but I don't know. But it is a very popular match and with good reason. It's one of those memorable moments. That's something else you don't see a whole lot of anymore. You don't see a lot of memorable moments. You don't see people like on Raw or SmackDown or on the weekly show. Like years later, people are going to point back to that and say, that was amazing. You'll see things now and again, but everything was special back then. I still recall when they freaking cut Andre the Giant's hair in 1984 and when Piper, hurt Snuka with the freaking coconut. You know why those things are memorable? Because they didn't happen every week. because when it happened, it was special. It's like everything. It's like everything. It's overexposure. You can't have steak every day, otherwise it's not special. And if everybody's doing the same thing, then the guy that's over here it's not special anymore when everyone's doing the same thing. You have to have different things. But it's a whole other story. I would love to talk to another wrestling fan about it. Maybe someone that has a different attitude than I do, like on a show. Someone that's into like the modern stuff completely and loves like the AEW product and loves like the type of wrestling that I don't love. But that's a whole other conversation. So, but again, this is cool because it's live and there are people talking about things. So I'm at, was I watching when Owen Hart died? Yeah. Yep. Only thing is it got spoiled for me. And I saw every freaking pay-per-view. See, I would work, then I would get back from work. I was working nights at the time. And I would then watch the pay-per-view, WWE and WCW at the time. Same thing with the weekly shows. I was still working nights a lot. So I'd get home and then I'd watch them. Well, because Owen died, I'll never forget it. My father left a message on my answering machine. He said to call him, just a regular. And I got home from work and he goes, wait, what happened? He goes, did Owen Hart died? And I was like, what? And Owen Hart was one of my favorite wrestlers. And I'm not just saying that because he died. I fucking loved him. He was entertaining as hell the whole time, So, and that happened. I couldn't believe it. Not that I wanted to see that happen, but it would have been something to actually watch the event and then see it that way and go, oh my God, what's going on here? So my father told me that it happened. So now you're looking for it and everything else. But yeah, I was actually watching it. It was freaking crazy. Okay, what's this? Luckily, WrestleMania weekend coincided with 420. Oh, and Easter. I forgot about Easter. Would explain why all the family members showed up at my house. Right on. Yeah, man, I had to go to my mother's for Easter, and I kept saying, I go, listen, I'm leaving here at 6:30. I got to be at home WrestleMania for 7. At 7 for WrestleMania. But of course, I don't start right at 7. I do the old trick I do with football games. I wait until like 7:15, 7:20. This way I can start from the back, and if there's BS that I want to fast forward through, I can do it. And oh man, they have so many friggin' commercials on this shit now. It's terrible. Even the Netflix thing, what a turnoff is that? They go to Netflix and you're thinking, okay, Raw's on Netflix. You're not going to have commercials because do they have commercials on Netflix during programming? I mean, I don't have it anymore. But I'm like, okay. And now they have more commercials than ever, and they interject them at the worst moments. They would never have a commercial in the middle of somebody's entrance in the past. Now somebody's entrance takes 10 minutes because they come in, they cut away, they go do some other commercial, then they do a WWE commercial, then they come back and the music is still playing. I'm like, oh man, are they stretching this shit out? But between that and Mania and Peacock, that's the biggest problem with streaming. Live shit streaming has commercials now. And I don't think you can get around it. You'd have to pay more. I'm not going to pay all that money for Peacock because I just need the basics and I never watch anything live unless it's a Mania or a pay-per-view, which whatever, once a month. They're not going to get my money. But yeah, that's a damn shame. But yeah, I had to leave yesterday. Like, oh yeah, it's Easter, whatever it is. It's 420, it's everything. And, I was actually surprised that they filled up those stadiums. Because it was Easter. Because everyone was saying all this stuff online. Oh, they're not selling enough tickets. This is that. There's not enough interest. I'm thinking, well, maybe don't have your pay-per-view on Easter. Some people still celebrate, and some people are family-oriented still, or religious or whatever. But whatever, they ended up selling out, so it didn't matter because that's what they do, So, speaking of Alma, I remember when he accidentally broke Steve Austin's neck. I just broke your neck. Yeah. Yep. Oh, that was such a poor ending. Oh man. Yep. Owen had to fall down and then lie down. The worst pinfall ever. What a shame. Yeah, that was awful. Poor Owen. First he had that mistake, which he never was known for making mistakes. And then everything that happened after. Just tragedy. Tragedy around the whole Hart family, really. It's sad. It's sad to see that. That's one improvement now. These guys don't have to be on drugs because they're not wrestling 300 days a year, and they don't have to take something to get up and to go down. And a lot of these guys, instead of hitting the bar at the end of the night in the hotels, are just playing video games and maybe getting high or something in their hotel room. So that is one thing that's great about the modern wrestling. But at the same respect, these guys take such crazy bumps that they don't have to take. They might have short careers as well, because they're doing way too much. They're doing way too much. I know people love it. I know it's great to see and everything else, but I just think, eh. Oh yeah, Jason, you might like it now. You might like it, WWE, for what they've been doing for the past um, year or two, and just where they're at now with Triple H, head of creative and everything else. Vince is gone. Vince got out of touch with it. It got too repetitious. It's still not excellent. It's not like it was in the 90s or the 80s, but I watched probably 70 to 75% of it before I'm fast forwarding it. Heavy emphasis on the females. So I don't know how you'll feel about that when you watch it. Um, but most of the female wrestling is pretty good. As a matter of fact, like I was saying, the match that stole the show was the opening match with the females, the three-way, and it was really good. So there is a heavy emphasis on that. I know that can be a turnoff to some people that grew up just seeing the women come around as every so often in the 80s, and then in the 90s they were here and there, but a lot of it was lingerie matches and eye candy, and there wasn't a whole lot of. Now it's like 60-40 men to women, so it is different. Eric, I love how Cena came out. That's what I was saying. No video, no color. Excellent. Yep, a dark screen with his name. Yep. See, you see what I see. Right. Yep, heel Cena. It's freaking great. I'm so glad he did that. Yes. And he wants to ruin wrestling. That's the gimmick right now. So, yeah, make it not colorful. Make it freaking a certain way. Get the job done. He wanted a title. That's all he wanted to do, was get a title. That's all he cared about. He didn't care about entertaining anybody. He didn't care about what was going on in the match. Didn't have The Rock's help directly. I think that's great. And I'm happy to see it. And I hope we get more, I have a feeling, though, he's going to go back. He's not going to leave wrestling and retire in December as a bad guy. I just don't see that happening. I think he's going to have to do something prior to. But I wouldn't mind it being that way. I think it'd be great. Who cares, man? He's a wrestler. He's an entertainer. He's had enough. He's granted all those Make-A-Wishes. He's had love. And now he's getting cheered again, which is awesome. I loved this crowd just for that reason. I thought they were kind of boring on the first night. But when they were cheering him and booing Cody, I loved it. And I had a feeling it was going to happen because of SmackDown. It started there. I'm like, good. That's what I want to see. You have to appreciate good heel work. And it's fun with Cena. It's great. What's your favorite movie based on the style of wrestling? No Holds Barred. Yeah. The Wrestler with Rourke is great. I agree. It's freaking awesome. And so was the Iron Claw. Yep, Fighting with My Family with Florence, who I love her too. Florence Pugh. I would probably say The Wrestler, to be honest. I think it is the best one. Yeah, that's something I do like all those movies. I mean, No Holds Barred is bad, but I can watch it for some fun. I have recently. Because like I said, I'm doing everything in order. And they've been talking about it in the 1989 shows. So we actually stopped the week it came out, for the week we were watching. That's when we stopped and watched it that night. So we had some fun with it. But I thought The Wrestler was great, man. Very cool stuff. Very cool. But yeah, so yeah, John Cena's the champ. I'm happy. I hope that Raw is great tonight. I don't even know if I'm going to watch tonight because I never watch live because I don't like to mess with the commercials. But then you got to be careful what you do. But I am excited to watch it, so we'll see. But I don't know if I'm going to watch it live or not. I don't have Netflix, but I have ways I can watch it still. But still, the damn commercials, man. It's just too much. So, but I'm happy about it. Overall, I give both nights Bs. I know people are shitting on night one especially, and people are shitting on because they didn't like the way the main event played out last night. I'm happy. I thought everything did. Yes, again, I'll say it again. Would I've liked The Rock to come out? Sure, but I could understand why not. And I think maybe we'll get more stuff. And it's so funny though. I was 6-1, and then the first night, 2-5 the second night. But there you go. It's not always great to know everything. I still want to be surprised, and it's great to be surprised. That's why I watch this shit. Favorite movie starring an 80s wrestler. Well, Suburban Commando. Actually, I don't usually like movies with wrestlers. That's why I never watched a movie with a Rock in it still. Wrestlers and rappers, as much as I like what they do, I don't like them as actors. Most of the time. Sometimes there's exceptions. If I had to pick one, I guess it's going to be They Live with Roddy Piper. You know, that's probably the best movie with a wrestler at that time. I guess it would be my favorite. I'm not really over the moon on that movie, to be honest. I love the ideas behind it and some of the execution, but could have been better. And it was just weird. There was like no dialogue the first 30 minutes, and there's just fighting going on with Piper, and it was just it's like they relied too much on his fighting ability. So I just thought They Live was a little bit weird, but I love what the movie stands for and the message and all that other shit. So I guess by default I would have to go with that. Yeah, just because. Hogan's movies, I actually enjoyed Suburban Commando when I was younger. He's better than Mr. Nanny and No Holds Barred. I'll tell you that. That might have been it though. Cena will retire a face, but his matches with Punk and Orton as a heel will be great to watch. Yeah, word. Yes. Yep. You know what? I agree with you. I think he can have great matches with people like Punk and Orton, and 100%. But yeah, he's got to be good. He's got to go out on a high note. But it would be cool to be wrong. It would be cool if he just freaking stayed a heel the whole time and just left, or even left with the belt. Imagine if he didn't get beat and he ends up ruining wrestling, but just not now, later, when he walks in December. That would be cool. Then they got to go old school with a tournament. There's a lot they could do. There's a lot. It's fascinating to me that you hate action movies but love wrestling. Well, wrestling, I can see what's going on. It's in the squared circle. There's only so much I can follow it. Action movies, things happen so quick, and this I can't keep up with what the hell's going on, and then I just get tired of cars. Pardon me. I get tired of cars and guns. It's just a little basic, and I get tired of, really, really tremendous leaps of faith in what these normal people are supposed to be doing. Guys that look like me. Okay, maybe not a guy that looks like me, but I mean, just average guys in a lot of places doing these insurmountable things. It's just a little too. I think the way people think about horror, they consider it to be junk food and freaking just like the basic form of entertainment. And they're wrong, by the way, as a lot of us know. That's what I feel about action flicks. It's just junk food. It's okay. I like junk food too, but some of it I could watch. But again, it's also a me problem. I can't. It's ADHD. I can't keep up with the screen, and I just watch it and I see it. And I just kind of make guesses as to what happened. But if it goes too quick and this and that, I can't keep up with it. I can respect a good car chase, and I did like the shit that they were doing in like Tarantino's movie with what do you call it? Not Planet Terror, the other one. Anyway, my mind sucks. But anyway, I liked what they did with that, with the car stunts and all that. I can appreciate it. The storylines around it really don't do it for me. They're too predictable. And I've already said the other stuff. So where horror is like the gift that keeps on giving. There's so much you can do in the horror genre. Death Proof. Thank you. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I just said that the other day when we recorded too, when I was talking about Quentin's movies. It just usually rolls off the tongue, but my brain sucks. So yeah, I can appreciate it. I just, I guess I've said my piece on action flicks, but so yeah, where do we go from here? It's going to be interesting. Like I said, I think Liv is going to go for that IC title, so that's going to be cool. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with this whole Cena thing and this whole Cody thing. That's what I want to see the most. Jey Uso, yeah, they're going to give him his chance, and he deserves it. Give him his chance. See how it plays out. I like that. I'm a little concerned about Gunther's character and what they did with him. All right, brother. Thanks. Yep. I'll enjoy it if I watch it tonight. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate you coming in. Sinister Cinema Reviews. Check him out, horror fans. He does live. He does videos. He does great shit. I wish I could do this more. Spinner Belt return. Yeah, if he hates wrestling. But then again, he's not flashy anymore. So maybe not. It's going to be interesting. It's hard to say where he's going to go. So far, he's been so good in this character that he's sticking to freaking Rune Wrestling. So I don't know if he's going to do anything celebratory. I don't know. But that's why I'm turning in. As far as Gunther, I don't know. I think that's my biggest complaint is him tapping to his own move from a non-submission wrestler and tapping quickly and everything else. I think Very unnecessary, kind of disrespectful. But Jay had to win that match. I just wish maybe it would have been a little different. So we'll see what happens with Gunther. We'll see what happens with the Judgment Day and that should be interesting. And I'm sure I'm missing out on some things. But overall, I had a lot of fun, and I hope I can do more of this stuff. And I hope you guys, you know, will take part in it, or comment on the video, share the video, whatever. I'd like to do more of this stuff. It's easy for me to sit down and talk about it, and maybe even get a thing going with other people that like wrestling. Gunther's chops, yeah, man, yeah, dude, Gunther's legit. I just watched him today on that LFG show. I don't know if you guys are watching that LFG or not, Legends and Future Greats, and he was the guest. So they're teaching people that are trying to break in the business, and his critiques were great, and I really appreciate his point of view with it. And yeah, I've come to love Gunther. At first, when I first came back in, and I heard people talking about it, first of all, I was pissed off. He broke Honky Tonk's record. And I just saw pictures of him, like, yeah, what's so special about him? And then I first started, when I came back, like last year, I was watching him at first, and I was like, I said all this yesterday, but I was like, whatever, I can repeat it. He reminds me of William Regal. I don't know why he's the champion. What's so big about him? But it is his character work. I'm big on character work. Yes, he's good in the ring. Yes, he does what he does. But I like his character. He's stoic. He's freaking all business. And he's heel, but he's not always 100% heel. He still has some, I don't know, there's something about him that I like. But yeah, I love Gunther's good stuff. So hopefully they can find a way to rebound with him. But this has gone long. Thanks, guys, for participating. That's the only reason it went long. So we'll see what happens. I want to do this again. I wouldn't mind, like I said, getting involved with some other wrestling fans that do, YouTube or podcast and taking part in it, because I think I have a bit of a unique take on this stuff after watching it for so long and then not liking a lot of the modern stuff, yet coming back where most people are huge fans of the modern stuff. So we'll see. But I really appreciate it. Yeah, thanks, Eric. Yeah, I'm having fun. So all is well. Like I said, hope to do this again. And I'll see you guys later, and enjoy Raw. Hopefully you guys, are along for the ride. And all right, talk to you guys later. Peace. Thank you.